All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of Dream Daddy. We're gonna date some dads. Well, we know who we're gonna date. It's Craig. We started yesterday, and we had a great first date, and we got some hearts and eggplants that they sort of burst out of the character. If this is your first time here, hello. I'm Dusty. We were playing Dream Daddy yesterday. I was having you guys help me out with some of the questions and like who to date and that kind of stuff. This is a 2017 dating sim from the folks over at Game Grumps, and it was very, 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 very popular at the time. So it seemed like a good thing to play on Valentine's Day. Also, happy Valentine's Day, everyone! Let's get into it. Let's see, most recent save. Let's do that. That'll, you know. 32, you can't beat the whammy bar. What is the whammy bar? I admit I don't know what a whammy. Oh, is that is it a bit on a guitar? Or am I really off? I really might be off the mark there. Anyway, while I'm doing my afternoon word jumbles, I hear the mail truck pull up through the cul-de-sac. I wonder if we got any coupons today. The nice mail person slides a couple letters in a large yellow envelope through the slot. It takes a couple of tries for them to get it in. Hey, my coupons! I take a closer look at the large yellow envelope. So this is Rick. I have designed Rick to more or less look like me, in this case, because, like, obviously y'all are looking at my face, you know who I am. I mean, similar shirt. I lightly knock on Amanda's door. She probably has headphones on. Amanda? She yells through the door. What? I have something for you. Amanda, I'm kind of busy right now. Can you come back later? Okay, just thought you'd want this big old envelope from HIA, says Rick. Immediately, Amanda pushes her door open. So this is my daughter Amanda. She's wonderful. This is a dating sim, but a big part of it is actually bonding with your daughter, which is very wholesome. I mean, everybody in the game is a dad, so like, let's do some good dadding. She says, Horn Institute for the Arts. I mean, if you're busy, I can come back.
We got this.
Father, please. I hand her the envelope, which she tears open with her teeth. Rick, that's probably bad for your teeth. She doesn't seem to hear me and spits out a piece of envelope. She pulls out the letter and unfolds it. And the suspense is killing me. This is her dream school. Amanda's face is unreadable. Amanda, I can't believe this. Rick, oh, honey, it's okay if you didn't.
Yeah.
Amanda, I got in! Rick, oh! Amanda, I got in! Amanda tosses the letter aside and gives me a big hug. Congrats, sweetie, that's amazing! I'm so proud of you. She pulls away and looks at the letter again. Oh my god, I really can't believe I got in! Rick, well, of course you got in. You're a great student, you nailed that interview, and your photography is incredible.
Oh.
Amanda, wait, Dad. I know this one's really expensive, and it's so far away. I think for a moment. HIA was one of the more expensive schools that Amanda applied to, but I know that she's had her heart set on it for the longest time. Rick, it'll be tough, but we're gonna make it work. Amanda, really? Rick, of course! Amanda hugs me again.
Hey.
Thanks, Dad! Okay, sweetie, we're celebrating tonight. Dinner, your choice. Whatever you want. Amanda says, wherever? Amanda and I walk along the bayside, tearing into our foil-wrapped burritos from a nearby food truck. Rick, you could have chosen anywhere in Maple Bay. Cost was not a determining factor. Amanda's like, please, Dad, you know I'm a simple gal. Just give me a Rito with a view. Well, I can't say I'm mad. Amanda and I sit on a patch of grass and watch ships sail lazily through the bay.
All right.
The dorms are right near a bunch of cafes, and there are all these galleries nearby, and there's a discount if you bring your student ID, and... Amanda, slow down, you're gonna choke on your burrito. Amanda, I know, I'm just excited. Did I mention that students get their own studio space when they're seniors, and we get all the professional photo editing software for free? It's nice to see Amanda so enthusiastic about HIA, but I wish she wouldn't do it in between bites of her burrito. I thought I taught her to chew with her mouth closed. Amanda, I wonder who my roommate's gonna be. You take a survey online, and they match you with someone with a similar major and interests? I bet we're gonna be best friends. Rick, well, Craig and I were. A good roommate can be a lifelong friend. Yeah, yes, chat. Friend. Definitely friend. Rick, but I don't... Oh, don't even get me started on bad roommates. Amanda, oh no. Rick, I'm just kidding. We didn't have a bad roommate. Our only other roommate was a puppy that Craig brought home one night. We spent a semester fabricating a story about our new foreign exchange student who had a really bad cough that sounded exactly like a dog's bark. Yeah, that sounds like a really bad lie, Rick. I don't think that's... Okay. Rick, yeah, Carl rules. Yes. Amanda, ooh, they let you have animals in the dorms if you get a note saying you need one. I bet I could forge one. I think I'd get a rabbit, or maybe a snake, or maybe both. Would the snake eat the rabbit, though? Rick, oh boy, I think I'm gonna leave all that up to you. She's so excited. I don't want to disappoint her, but I need to be real for a second. So, you know I had that talk with Mr. Vega. Amanda, he didn't tell you about the dumpster fire, did he? Rick, what? No. I don't want to put a damper on the good news, but I do need you to knock it out of the park these last few months of school, okay? If you really want to go to Horns, we do need to get some of that scholarship money. And I know you can do it. Amanda says, okay. I promise I'll try harder. I pat her on the back. Rick, think you can handle a 14-hour drive to come home for the holidays? There's gonna be some treacherous ice roads to cross. And don't even get me started on the paranormal occurrences. Amanda, well, it'll be worth it if I get to see you. My eyes immediately well up with tears. Oh, Dad, don't cry. Sorry, I'm just very proud of you. You're all grown up now, and you're such a good person, and I hope you know how important you are to me. Dad, stop, you're gonna make me cry too. Rick, it's too late, honey. It's happening. Dad, I can't get tears in my burrito. It's gonna make it taste sad. I pull Amanda in for a hug and kiss her on the forehead. She says, oh, sorry, Rick, love you, kiddo. Amanda, love you too, Pops. Wholesome. It's so wholesome. They're so cute.
Welcome. You've got dads.
So this is Dad Book. Oh, we have messages. Oh my god, did she make a fake dad account? Dad Manda. Oh my god, she made a fake dad account. Hi Rick, it's me, your dear old friend from way back in the day, Dad Manda. I'm delighted to see you've signed up for Dad Book. They've recently added this exciting new messenger service, so you may find yourself receiving messages from other dads like myself. Take care not to miss them. Okay, we have a group message. Hugo and Damien. Hey, are you up to anything tonight? Did Hugo really send me a hey you up message? Hugo and I were planning to we're planning to go to the art walk downtown, and we're wondering if you would care to accompany us. I would normally write a letter longhand, but I've run out of distressed parchment paper. Okay, thank you, Damien. Whoa, why can I see Damien's and Hugo's chat? Am I a hacker? But I don't even have a hacker alias. And the feds are gonna bust down my door any minute now. I've gotta destroy my computer. Rick, this is a group chat. Oh, thank God. Do either of you guys know how to destroy a computer? Damien says, you can run Derek's boot and nuke from a startup flash drive, but once you've done that, it's best to physically destroy the platters altogether. Hugo, ... Damien's like, The Victorians were well versed in information security? Rick, do you want to go see some art or not? Art is good. Let's go see art. Yes, I would love to see that art, Hugo and Damien. Show me the art. Damien and Hugo invited me to the monthly art walk in downtown Maple Bay. I've never really been to one of these before, so I'm not really quite sure what to expect or what I'm in for. I think I'm here a bit early? I don't see Damien or Hugo around anywhere, and I feel just a little uncomfortable standing around with all these fancy art people. Someone says, Rick? I turn around. It's Joseph. No, it's the serial killer! So, interesting news. Hayam Leanne, who I think was in the chat briefly yesterday, if not now, told me that they did actually add back in the creepy Joseph ending, and so there is a way to get it, but you have to kind of like do exactly the right combination of like name and character design and like some other stuff. Um, so there is a spooky ending. I could try to get it at some point. I can look it up. If you guys are still interested in me playing more of this game. But here he is. Here's Joseph. I'm not a fan of Joseph. He feels like a serial killer. I turn around. It's Joseph. Joseph, what are you doing here?
Oh.
Joseph scoffs at me. What am I doing here? How could you ask me that? I'm obviously a huge art, appreciatist? Rick. Joseph. Okay, fine. Damien invited me to the art walk thing. I'm guessing he invited you too? Yep. Admittedly a little out of my depth here. Joseph. Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to be the odd one out. Rick, are you allowed to say that? Joseph. Say what? Rick, thank God?
Oh.
Joseph, yep, I actually get double points when I say it since I'm a minister. Rick, Joseph, the point gets you into heaven. That's how it works. Anyway, where are the guys? I look and spot Hugo and Damien, who seem to have just arrived at the gallery. Damien, good eve, good eve, good eve. Joseph, evening, friends.
Oh.
Hugo, ooh, who's ready for some art? Alright, I am. I have no idea what I'm in for. Art is dead, nothing is real. Oh, that's exceptional. I'm gonna go with I have no idea what I'm in for. And Joseph says, oh, same.
Hey.
Hugo, all you have to know is that if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, there's generally always a table that has free wine and cheese. Hugo is speaking my language. Like, wine, free food, the main reason to go to an art event. That's not true, I like art, but Rick, I like art now.
Oh.
Joseph, I've got that table in my sights. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go help myself to some tiny wines. Joseph takes after his drunk wife, I guess. Talk with Hugo and Damien, get cheese and tiny wine with Joseph. I'm not hanging out with Joseph. Rick, so what's the first place? Damien says, this particular artist specializes in landscape painting of various locales within the American Northeast. Rick, I look at the art. It is rad art. Rick, at the risk of sounding uninformed, do all of these landscapes look like butts to you guys? Damien and Hugo lean in, examining the paintings in earnest. Damien, it would appear that you are correct. Hugo, valid assessment, Rick. Rick, hey, this art stuff's pretty easy. Hugo, oh, it gets more complicated. Hugo, sometimes the butts are more symbolic. Sometimes the butts are metaphors. Sometimes art is about the butts they don't draw. That's some life advice, y'all. Hugo just dropped some great life advice for all of us. Rick, interesting. Joseph returns to our group with tiny cheese and wine. Joseph, what'd I miss? Hugo, butts. Joseph, shame. The cheese is nice, though.
Oh.
Shall we visit the next place? Says Damien. We leave the first gallery and walk a few minutes before we reach another one. This gallery is a bit more crowded. Huge paintings of I'm not even sure hang on the walls. Joseph says, oh geez. What am I looking at here? Damien says, this is abstract art. I think the more important question is, what does this art mean to you? I stare at the painting, concentrating as hard as I can on its meaning. So our options are, it's a metaphor for the human condition, it reminds me of my childhood, it represents strife, and it's a butt. I gotta go in for the butt. I think, yeah. Yes, having 3 dads pointed at us at once feels very intimidating. Gay goth gaming. Also, yes, more peach emojis. Thank you. Rick, it's a butt.
Oh.
Everyone else stares at the painting. Joseph, yeah, that's definitely a butt. Hugo,
Oh.
Damien, while a valid assessment, I feel like the artist was trying to make a different statement. Joseph, yeah, probably about how much he liked butts. Damien laughs. You are a servant of the Lord. Joseph, we're all God's creatures. Even butts. What is this sense of humor?
Oh.
Hugo, comparing the piece to the artist's body of work, I'm pretty sure this represents the sense of isolation he feels creating traditional abstract artwork in a field that's rapidly moving towards digitization. Rick, wow. How do you figure that? Hugo, well, that is what it says on the placard. Oh.
Ah.
Damien, let's look at a few more of these. We walk around the gallery, sampling some of the artist's work. I almost hate to say it, but abstract art is kind of growing on me. It's interesting that the artist chooses not to let their work be defined by, what's the word? Realism? Realism. As we're looking at one of the paintings, a patron scoffs loudly. Patron, psh, I could do that.
Ah.
Hugo says, excuse me?
Ha!
Damien, Hugo, not here. Hugo, no, come back. The patron walks away, not noticing Hugo fuming right next to him.
Oh.
Hugo, you say you could do that, but you didn't. You don't seem to have the intellectual depth or the artistic skill to execute a piece, even as fraction as impressive as this one. He's a purist, I'm learning that. Hugo, art is the truest expression of the self, and it seems like your self is bad, so your art would be bad. Sick burn, Hugo. Really fucking sick burn. Hugo's insult game isn't the best, but there's no denying his passion. Damien is actually holding him back at this point. Damien, friend, he's not worth it.
I don't know.
Hugo manages to cool down. He smooths his jacket. Hugo, I'm sorry, I just love art very much. Rick, we know, buddy. I pat Hugo on the shoulder. Joseph, you know how to ease the mood? Damien, is it cheese? Joseph, no. It's wine and cheese. Rick, co-signed. The four of us head over to the wine and cheese table, which, thankfully, is grounded in realism. An actual wine and cheese.
Ah.
Hugo, we got one last stop on the tour, if you lot are feeling up to it. Rick says, is it gonna be any weirder than this art?
How delightful.
Damien, it is absolutely weirder than this art. Joseph, let's do it!
Oh.
Damien, Hugo, Joseph, and I walk over to a performance in this street. Several masked performers in leotards undulate wildly on the ground, screaming both at each other and us. Now this sounds like art school!
Oh, Cracker Barrels.
Rick, so, quick question. Hugo says, shoot. Rick, what is happening? Joseph, I second this question.
Oh.
Hugo says, performance art. Rick, what does it mean?
Oh.
Damien, again, I pose the very same question to you, Mr. Dad. Okay, so footnote, I did make my character's last name Dad, which maybe I shouldn't have done, but at this point it's quite entertaining. Okay, our options are fear of existence, the very humanity of being human, they really like screaming, or butts. See, okay, as much as keeping the butts joke running, I think would be funny, I do think that Joseph is enjoying it the most, and I don't want to be friends with a serial killer. So I think it's gonna have to be one of the others, just because I don't want this serial killer liking me. I'm gonna go with they really like screaming. Damien says, that they do, but I'm not sure if that encompasses the whole of their performance. Rick says, so what do you think they're trying to say? Damien, I believe it's less about what they're saying and more about why they're saying it. Damien, I think there's something special about performance art. With almost every other form of art, music, painting, photography, the artist uses their medium as a conduit for their emotions. With performance art, the medium is the artist. It's the purest expression of raw human emotion. It's art as catharsis. Hugo says, that's beautiful, Damien. Joseph, so what you're saying is, if I start making really loud fart noises right now, it's art, as long as I, like, really mean it? Joseph, shut up. Damien fixes him with a hard stare. Joseph,
Uh,
I was gonna start making fart noises, but based on the look on your face, that joke isn't gonna play well with this crowd.
Hmm.
Damien,
Oh.
wise.
Oh.
We watch the rest of the performance as earnestly as we can, and clap politely after the dancers scream their way off stage. Rick says, phew, I think I'm all arted out. Joseph says, agreed. We all decide to walk home together.
Hmm?
We make our way back to the cul-de-sac, tiny wine and tiny cheese sloshing around in my stomach. Rick, I think what I learned tonight, and not just what I've learned about art, which was nice and extremely informative, but what I've learned tonight is that when you put a bunch of tiny wine and tiny cheese together, it eventually becomes regular wine and regular cheese, followed by too much wine and too much cheese. The tiny cheese lulled me into a false sense of security. I felt safe with the tiny cheese. Rick says, wax wings, too close to the sun.
Oh.
Hugo says, cheese wings? Those would melt in the sun too, and I feel like it's a more appropriate image. Joseph says, plus, it's delicious. Rick, a nice Emmentaler, possibly? Joseph says, hey, if you guys were painters, what would you paint? Damien says, I actually dabble in oils. I mostly paint landscapes. I'm not very good, but it's a nice way to pass the time.
Oh.
You go, I think I would focus on personal portraits of people in unique professions. Like, for example, luchadors. Joseph says, I think I'd paint boats, seascapes, maybe lighthouses, mostly boats. We should have known that Joseph would be a basic bitch. Rick, really?
Hey.
Hugo says, yeah, I'm surprised you're choosing boats in favor of a long history of religious imagery and artwork.
Oh.
Joseph says, what? Boats are cool.
Hmm.
Hugo, well, what about you, Rick? Food artistry, landscapes, or tasteful nudes of the artist. All right, chat, what are we feeling with this one? Let's do a little mini vote here on food artistry, landscapes, or tasteful nudes of the artist. This is a good selection. I'm also enjoying all of our little dad hangout here today. But let me know how you guys are feeling. Food artistry, landscapes, tasteful nudes. You know, yeah. Food artistry. Okay, we have a vote for food artistry. Yeah, Joseph is a creep, honestly. Like, he's basic and he's a creep. And he's, like, weirdly obsessed with child humor. Okay, we got 2 foods. We got 3 foods. Alright, it's gotta be food artistry.
Oh.
Rick, I would probably do still lifes of foods. Bowls of fruit? Maybe some bread in there? Joseph, would there be cheese involved? Rick, see, I thought about that, and no, I can't stare at a pile of cheese for 8 hours without eating some of it, and that would ruin the whole thing. Damien says, oh, excellent point. We finally get to the cul-de-sac. Joseph, alright boys, good art. Rick says, good art.
Oh.
Agreed.
Ah.
See you guys around? Whether you want to or not, we're all neighbors after all. Joseph, what a creepy fucking thing to say. Whether you want to or not. Ugh. I head inside to deal with my inevitable cheese over. 86, always try your best at
Welcome.
everything.
You've got dads.
I do have dads. Okay, Dad Manda says... Oh, it's the same thing. It's the same message. Why is there a... Oh, I can send her a message? Oh, okay. Amanda, is that you? What are you doing on Dad Book? Why, Rick, I never. We've known each other since business school. How could you possibly confuse me for your amazing and talented and easy to buy things for daughter? I thought I am... Sorry, though I am, of course, flattered. You should buy Amanda more things. Amanda, you know I didn't go to business school. I barely even managed to get my degree. Wait. No. Wow. I didn't say that. You never heard that. This is gold. I was a great student, I swear. I graduated at the top of my class because I worked hard and ate all of my vegetables. She's like, totally holding on to this later. And I'm like, wait, do you even remember what I majored in? She goes, I declined to comment. I'm like, cool. Thank you, Amanda. All right, I think we gotta send Craig a message. We gotta continue this fun project. Let's go, Craig. Don't trust anyone who likes their meat well done, and it is rude to ask people about their mysterious hand tattoos. Yeah, I gotta agree with the meat one. I feel like well done meat. It's not my thing, then. Alright, I really want to get some good quality time in with Craig. The last time we hung out, he was so busy with the kids and fending off flirty moms that I feel like we barely talked. Ever since the first time we hung out, I've been trying to get up a little early for runs. I don't think I'm gonna be as embarrassing as last time. Maybe I'll even be able to catch up with him now. I type out a message to him on Dadbook. Hey man, been training on my run game recently. Ready for a round 2? Craig responds almost immediately. Dude, of course! Emojis! I don't know why he didn't just send an emoji rather than type it out. Another message pops into my inbox from Craig. Let's meet up early tomorrow morning for my favorite activity, brunch. Oh my god, Craig, that's a bad joke, dude. I type back, brunch? What's that? He says, you run, and then you get brunch. Oh, right. Craig and I agree to a time to meet in the morning, and I have a chance to spend the evening hanging out with Amanda. So, we doing pizza tonight? Rick says, again? Can't we do, like, a salad night?
Whoa.
Amanda says, Dad, are you on a health kick? Rick's like, not yet. I formed the committee to examine the possibility of being on a health kick. They haven't returned with their findings. Amanda's like, Dad, if you go on a health kick, then I have to go on a health kick by virtue of being under the same roof as you, and I don't know if I have the constitution for that. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. Or the committee is still out, or I'm sorry, Amanda, it's time. I'm gonna go with committee is still out. The committee isn't back with the findings yet. This is a multi-year assessment on several bureaucratic levels. She says, well, okay. Amanda picks up the phone and stares at me, unblinking, as she dials. She's like, hi, yes, can I get an extra large pizza with chicken, bacon, extra cheese, and tomatoes? A couple of garlic sauce cups? Rick's like, Amanda, you're going a little north here. Amanda's like, oh, right. Can you maybe throw some leaves on there or something? Yeah, he's going on a health kick. Yeah, Rico, I know. It's tragic. Amanda listens for a second. Amanda, hold on, I'll ask. Dad, is oregano a salad? Yes, oregano is a salad. Amanda's like, yes, Rico, sprinkle some of that on there. Yep, cash is fine. Say hi to the wife and kids for me. Amanda hangs up. Rico says hey. The food gets delivered and we plop down on the couch to eat some za. Amanda, just be careful. Running is a gateway drug. It's a slippery slope, Dad. First you go on a couple light jogs, and before you know it, you're converting the garage into some home gym. And renewing your subscription to some sort of weekly kombucha delivery service. Rick's like, okay, question. Shoot. What's kombucha? Amanda's like, okay, so you aren't too far gone yet. I'm just giving you a hard time, Pops. I'm really happy you're into running more and caring about your health. I do want to keep you around for as long as possible. Rick says, thanks, kiddo. Speaking of which, I'm running with Craig tomorrow. Amanda's like, you gonna be able to keep up with him? Rick, hey. I mean, probably not. We laugh and eat more pizza than is probably healthy in the name of carbo loading. I call it a night early so that I'm ready for tomorrow. Yeah, we gotta go jogging with Craig, y'all. When I first started running in the mornings, it was pretty hellish. Now that I'm a few sessions in, it admittedly has become a little easier, despite it always ending in me dry heaving over a trash can. Is that what runner's high is? Just dry heaving? Rick, I don't think you're doing it right. That doesn't seem right. I lace up my tennis shoes, throw on a t-shirt from a writer's summit I went to 20 years ago, and head out the door at a moderate jog. Craig is already outside with River strapped to his chest.
Nice.
He's dressed head to toe in color-coordinated running gear. Wow, I look like a total schlub next to this guy. He's like, hey bro! Rick, morning Craig. River gonna be running with us?
Oh.
Craig, best as she can. We're taking it to the limit, aren't we, kiddo? River says, Grr. Craig, oh, I know what that means. Craig hands her a stuffed toy, which makes her smile ear to ear.
Oh.
Craig says, that's Arnold the capybara. Sometimes it's the only thing that'll get her to stop crying. Rick, oh, I've been there. Amanda had a stuffed panda that she carried around everywhere. She would have a tantrum if we even tried to wash it. It was super gross. Craig says, oh yeah, so you've been running lately? Rick says, every morning for 30 minutes. I'm basically an elite athlete at this point. Craig's like, haha, we'll try to keep up. Rick says, so where are we headed?
Oh.
Craig, I don't know. I was thinking we could do a couple laps around the park. Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Mhm.
Craig, and then we'll do some hill climbs up a slope. Okay, I can probably handle that.
Hmm.
Craig, and then we'll close it off by doing some wilderness survival hike running to increase our agility. I'm suddenly struck with the overwhelming need to crawl back into bed. Craig, that sound okay to you? I usually like to throw in some murder sprints in there, but I'll go easy on you since you're a beginner. Craig says, yeah, that sounds like something I'm able to physically do.
Hey.
Craig says, great, let's get started.
Mhm.
Craig, you're lucky you're cute. You are lucky you're cute. Craig and I finally arrive at the park. A few other lone joggers make their way around the perimeter, and River waves enthusiastically at everyone we pass. It's a lot more peaceful in the mornings. Aside from the birds chirping and River gurgling away in the stroller, it's actually pretty quiet. Craig, alright, good warm-up. That was the warm-up?
Bro.
Craig says, let's start the show! But wait! Craig reaches into a bag and tosses me a water bottle. I fumble it, but thankfully, I don't drop it.
Oh.
Craig says, you gotta hydrate, bro! I take a long drink from the water bottle, and I feel invigorated. Man, I don't drink enough water. And just because this came up, I'm gonna drink some water, and all you guys should drink some water too. This is your reminder. Alright. Rick says, hey! I look down and pick up Arnold, River's toy, and hand it back to her. Must have dropped this.
Oh.
Craig, oh man, thanks for looking out, bro!
Nice.
You ready? Yeah, or my body is collapsing in on itself. I'm gonna try to keep up with him. We'll see how that goes. We finally finish our however many 18th lap around the park. I'm breathing heavily, but I can't believe I didn't lose Craig. He's even breathing heavily too, which makes me feel a little better. I look down at my shirt and notice that I'm drenched in sweat. Huh, kinda looks like a frowny face. Craig, that's one. Rick's, what?
Hey.
Craig says, I'm just kidding, good hustle out there. I'm really impressed. You're way better than the last time I launched you off a treadmill. Rick says, yeah man, you really pushed me to my limit just now. I can't believe I held on.
Oh.
Craig says, hey, sometimes you just need someone there with you to push you to do your absolute best. I'm glad I could be that guy, bro. Craig says, who's ready for some hill climbs? Flap!
Mhm.
There's my little cheerleader, Rick. You ready? Oh my god, our options are ugh, or I'm gonna go for the middle ugh. Rick says, you bet! Oh my god. Craig takes me to a separate portion of the park, where there's a steep hill that seems to go up forever. I strain my eyes to see other joggers at the top. Rick, so what do we do now? Craig, we run up the thing. Rick says, that looks like a lot. Craig, Rick, there's two things you need to know about this hill. One, don't stop running till you get to the top. And two, Craig points to the top of the hill.
Hey.
That's not the top. Our options are a fairly long ugh, an even longer ugh, and the longest ugh they could fit into this chat box. I'm gonna go for the long one. Rick says, let's do this!
Huh.
I finally reach the top of the hill after making my way past what I originally thought was the top of the hill. Once there, I hunch over onto my knees and gasp for air. My lungs are like daggers poking in my ribs. I can feel my heart in my ears. River says, Rick, River, I'm having a moment. Please. Craig, whoo, Oh boy. Craig looks like he's taking a beating as well. Ha! So he is human!
Nice.
Rick, put your arms on your head and stretch out to your elbows. It'll help you breathe better. I do as Craig says. It does feel a little better, but I'm still in agony. Craig says, and here. Craig tosses me the water bottle again. I hydrate like my life depends on it. Rick says, thanks, dude.
Bro.
Craig, phenomenal work. You feel that lightness in your head? That's the runner's high. Rick says, oh, that's it. I thought I was just, dying. Craig says, you want to take it slow for a bit? Rick says, I would like that very much. As we're catching our breath, River starts crying. Craig says, what's wrong, Sweet Pea? You want to play with Arnold? Craig looks around us.
Nice.
Oh boy, man down. I think we lost Arnold. River keeps wailing.
Nice.
Craig, oh no, I've abandoned my child's toy. We gotta find him, dude. Rick, it should be simple, right? We just gotta retrace our steps. I remember River last having it down at the bottom of the hill.
Nice.
Craig and I jog down the path, searching high and low for the stuffed capybara, which Craig takes the time to explain to me is a large rodent that's native to South America. We get to the place where River might have dropped it, but it's still nowhere to be found. Craig says, oh no, looks like we've got a mystery on our hands. We have to get to the bottom of this. Rick, I suspect foul play. Looks like this is a prime case for world-renowned Detective Dad. Craig says, dude, it's time for a bro adventure. A bro venture. We high-five and decide to jog back to the park to see if we can find any leads. Craig says, so it looks like there's a couple more places to check, and some bros around here that we could interrogate. Rick says, sounds good.
Nice.
Craig, wait, who's good cop and who's bad cop? I think about it for a second. Well, I think with your stature and overall resilience, you would make a much more intimidating bad cop. But on the other hand, you do have an adorable baby strapped to your chest, so that does kind of soften the edges a little bit. Craig says, all valid points. I think you would make a great good cop because of your congenial attitude and willingness to try new things. But then again, I've seen how you get when there are too many commercial breaks during a show, so you do have the potential to be a scary bad cop. Rick says, I don't want to have to watch Meat Hell in 3-minute segments with 5 minutes of commercials in between. And they're loud. The commercials are too loud. I just want to watch my shows in peace without people yelling at me to buy wiper fluid. Rick is so relatable, you guys. Like, yeah, I also don't want to watch a million ads. That's my goal in life, to not watch ads. Rick says,
Hey.
Craig, alright, case in point. Rick, okay, let's play it moment by moment. Craig, ooh, smart. So, where to, brotective? Alright, go to the playground, go to the field, go to the woods. I'm gonna start with the playground. That seems like a very reliable place for a toy. We make our way over to a small playground at the edge of the park. A couple of kids play on the jungle gym while parents watch on nearby benches. Over on one of the benches, I spot a familiar face. Oh, it's the serial killer again. Alright, look for clues, interrogate Joseph, try to calm River down, move to another part of the park. I'm gonna start by looking for clues. We're on a mission here. Craig and I, 2 grown adults, walk onto the playground and begin examining it meticulously for clues. There's no forensic evidence here, no stray capybara hairs. After searching fruitlessly for some time, we look up. All of the parents are staring at us. We smile and wave as we awkwardly slink away. We head back to the playground. Alright, I'll interrogate Joseph. Rick says, let's see what Joseph's up to. We jog over to Joseph, who seems to be engrossed in his book. Craig, Joseph! Joseph nearly drops his book. Joseph says, oh, hey guys, I didn't think I'd see you two out here. Rick, are you exercising? Rick says, sure am. You know me, I love to run and be healthy, and that's my whole thing. Rick says, what are you reading? Joseph, oh, just a book on knots and tying rope. 'Cause that's not creepy. Oh my god, the serial killer is at it again. Rick's like, Joseph says, for boats! Boats ropes! Rick, right, okay.
Oh.
Craig, say, you didn't happen to see a stuffed capybara around here, did you?
Oh.
Joseph, what's a capybara?
Hmm?
Rick says, well, it's a large rodent that's native to South America. Joseph thinks for a second. He says, haven't seen one around. Joseph, I'll tell the kids to keep an eye out, though. Rick says, your kids are here? Joseph looks around.
Oh, cracker barrels.
They were here a second ago. Must have gone exploring around the park. Rick, do you know where they could have run off to? Joseph, I don't know, they're kids. They get into mischief sometimes, but they always come back. That sounds a little suspect, Joseph. Mischief, you say? Joseph, wait, why am I being interrogated right now? I'm gonna say, thank you for your time, citizen. Craig, thanks, Joseph. We'll let you get back to your rope book. Joseph, boat ropes. Yeah, sure, boat ropes. Absolutely not for tying people up in your basement. We head back to the playground. I'll try to calm River down. This is a pretty nice playground. Might as well get a couple swings in. Craig, what about Arnold? Rick, maybe having a little swing might calm River down? Buy us some more time? Craig says, you're right! She's about to go nuclear! Oh my god, he did the little heart thing! He was happy that I suggested playing with his baby. This might prepare her for the possibility of us not being able to find Arnold. Rick says, life is cruel and tough, but at least we'll always have swings. Some more wisdom for you guys on this fine Valentine's Day, that life is tough, but you'll always have swings. Craig straps River into the baby swing and gives her a gentle push. She giggles. I take a seat on the swing next to her and immediately realize that I'm stuck. River seems to love that. Craig eventually helps me out of the swing and we decide to get back to the investigation. So smooth. So smooth. I got stuck in a child's swing and my date had to pull me out of it. We head back to the playground. Okay, we've done this. Move on to another part of the park. Where to now, bro? Alright, let's go to the field. We wander out to a grassy field in the center of the park. There isn't a whole lot to see, but there are a few figures camped out on a blanket. And the grass could hold any number of secrets. So we see Matt and Carmencita, we can look for clues, we can interrogate River, or we can move to another part of the park. I'm going to start with Matt and Carmencita. Let's talk to Matt and his daughter. Carmencita spots us from across the way and waves. She's sitting down with her dad on a sunny green patch of grass. We jog over. Matt says, hey dudes. Craig, hey bro. Carmencita, we just sat down for a picnic. You want some snacks? Craig says, you got anything to increase my glycogen reserves? Carmencita, we have apple slices? Craig, oh, thank you very much, tiny bro, but I should be fine.
Hey.
Matt says, hey, you guys working out? Good day for it. Rick, yep, I'm the picture of health and athleticism.
Nice.
Craig says, good transition, Rick. Say, you haven't seen a stuffed capybara around here anywhere, have you? Matt says, what's a capybara? Carmencita, it's a large rodent that's native to South America. Rick, wait a second. How do you know what a capybara is? You wouldn't happen to have had hands-on experience with one lately, have you? We learned about capybaras in the 4th grade. I think it's more suspicious that you know what a capybara is, Carmencita. Carmencita's shady. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Rick's like, ooh. Oh my god. What if I took Arnold? What if I'm the culprit? And I don't remember. I quickly check my body for any Polaroids that I might have kept on my person to remind me of who to trust and who not to trust. I saw Memento once. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Nothing. But what if that's what I wanted myself to think? No. Rick, don't let them win. I shake off the thought. Carmencita says, I saw a couple of squirrels over by that tree, though. I don't know if that helps, but if you want to see some cute squirrels, you should definitely check it out.
I don't know.
Craig says, thanks for the hot squirrel tip, Carmencita. Well, we better get moving. Gotta find that capybara before River here has a breakdown. Matt's like, good luck. Rick, hey, let me get some apples for the road, though. Carmencita hooks me up with some road slices, and we're on our way. We maneuver back to the field. I mean, I do kind of want to check out those squirrels, but I'm going to interrogate River first. Because, you know, interrogating a baby is absolutely going to solve this mystery. Rick says, wait, let me try this. It's always the culprit that you least expect. I get eye to eye with River, who still looks like she's on the verge of tears.
Hey!
Okay, good cop, bad cop. I'm gonna be good cop. It's a baby, like... Oh, good, he liked that. Hey, sweetie, believe me, nobody wants to find the capybara more than me, but we need more clues, and I think somewhere in that baby brain of yours, you might have something that'll lead us to the perp. So what do you say, kiddo? River, ... Meh. I turn to Craig. Well, we're getting nowhere with the witness. We maneuver back to the field. Alright, I'm checking out those squirrels. Where did the suspect say the squirrels would be again? The tree, I think. Craig, there they are! Oh, wait, okay, I think I just got hearts, but they popped off on the, like, left side of the screen for some reason. Rick, Carmencita was telling the truth. Those are some pretty rad squirrels. River seems happy. This may have bought us some extra time. We maneuver back to the field. Alright. Well, I'll look for clues. We carefully comb through the field of grass and flowers. I can't seem to find much beside a couple of ladybugs and a nickel. While I'm looking, Craig calls out to me from across the field. Rick!
I don't know.
I jog over. Craig is kneeling in the grass, inspecting something. I approach, my heart in my throat. As I lean over Craig, I see it. Craig, this is Arnold's leg. I put my hand over River's eyes. No one should have to be subjected to this senseless violence. My God, who or what would do this?
Oh.
Craig, I don't know, but now I think we might be dealing with something beyond our grasp. I can't look at it anymore. I turn around, trying to wipe the image of stuffing strewn across the ground from my
I
mind.
don't know.
Craig, we're running out of time. We may already be too late. Bag and tag it. Let's keep moving. We maneuver back to the field. Well, okay, so the leg is here. Alright, move on to another part of the park. I've deduced where we should go next. It's gotta be the woods. We make our way to the outskirts of the park. There are a couple of benches by the dense tree line. Looks like Robert's here all by himself. This also seems like the perfect place to look for clues. Robert, Knife Dad, just hanging out alone in the woods. That doesn't seem creepy, like, at all. Let's look for clues. Craig and I search through the outskirts of the woods, hoping to find anything that might lead us to Arnold. There are a couple of cigarettes and some empty beer cans scattered around the thicket. This is probably the hotspot for edgy teens who like to hang out at night and say swears and stuff, but it doesn't look like there was any recent activity that might be capybara related. Craig, this might be a dead end, partner bro. We return to the woods. Alright, it's time to interrogate Knife Dad. Maybe Robert saw something? We walk over to Robert's bench. Hey, Rob? Robert, don't call me that. Rick, okay. Hi, Robert. Robert, don't call me that either. Rick, okay. Hey, buddy?
I don't know.
Craig, what are you up to?
I...
Robert, thinking? This is my thinking bench. I have to get a solid 2 or 3 hours of brooding in per day. I'm filling quotas. Craig, have you by any chance seen a very small stuffed capybara around? Rick says, a capybara is... Robert, it's a large rodent, native to South America. I know. Craig, wait, so have you seen one? A stuffed one, not a real one. That would be weird. Robert, I'm gonna be good cop, but I do wonder what happens if you wear bad cop. Come on, Robert, the sooner you tell us what you know, the sooner we can let you get back to brooding. Craig says, bad cop time, Robert. If you don't help us, I'm gonna put you in a headlock. Robert, is that a threat or a promise? Oh, Robert. Craig, whoa, slow down. Robert! Rick. Robert, back off. We return to the woods. Okay, move on to another part of the park. Clock's ticking, dude. Where do we go next? I'm gonna re-examine the field, because we did find the leg there. We maneuver back to the field. Wait, okay, I don't have any options here? Okay. I'm starting to put the pieces of this case together. Or I have indigestion. We better keep moving. Alright, I guess I'll check out the playground again. We head back to the playground. Okay, we can still interrogate Joseph, which is interesting. It must be, like, to do with his kids, I'm guessing. Let's see what Joseph's up to. We jog over to Joseph, who seems to be engrossed in his book. Joseph, do you happen to know where Christian and Christy have gone? Joseph, they're kids. They get into mischief sometimes, but they always come back. Alright, I'm gonna grill him a little harder this time instead of being nice.
Oh, Cracker Barrels.
Wait, am I being interrogated right now? No. Yes. Just doing our due diligence, Joseph.
Oh.
Craig, Arnold means a lot to River here. Have a good one, Gaygoth Gaming. Happy Valentine's Day! Craig, Arnold means a lot to River here. Joseph, I mean, you're more than welcome to ask Christian and Christy. I mean, they have their ears to the ground in all of the latest playground drama. They might be somewhere in the woods. Craig, thanks, Joseph. We'll let you get back to your rope book. Boat ropes! We head to the playground. Okay, we already tried to calm River down, moved to another part of the park. River's still holding together, but not for long. Her tiny eyes betray a barely concealed boiling rage just beneath the surface. Or something? She's a baby. I don't know. Let's move. Yeah, we gotta go back to the woods because that's where the kids are. We return to the woods. Joseph twins must be around here somewhere. Okay, so Robert must be able to tell us where the twins are? Robert. Time to go Robert again. We walk over to Robert's bench. Robert says, "Oh Christ, what now?" Well, I was good cop before, so I guess I'll try being bad cop. Robert, I'm gonna keep being vaguely threatening until you tell us something useful. Robert, I haven't seen any goddamn capybara, okay? Crap, I was really nailing the bad cop bit too. I thought for sure we had something. Craig says, "Now what, bro? Joseph said his twins were around here somewhere, but I have no idea how we're supposed to find them." Robert says, "Wait, those creepy kids? Why didn't you tell me that they had something to do with this?" Huh. Maybe I should have left the good cop, bad cop routine to the pros on TV.
Hey.
Craig says, "Yeah, Robert, bro, do you know where they are?" Robert says, "I do. A lot of people underestimate the senses of a man who broods. I saw them lurking around here just a little while ago." Rick says, "Where'd they go?"
Hey.
Robert, "I don't know, ran into the woods. I'd be careful though. I don't trust them. But then again, I don't trust anybody. Not even you guys. Not even that baby." Robert says, "What?" Robert, "I take that back. You're an old soul, kiddo."
Oh.
Craig, "Thanks for your help, Robert." Robert is very good. He's just fucking chilling in the trees, like... River's screeching is louder than ever. I'm exhausted. Craig is exhausted. Oh, man! Oh, I was too slow finding the capybara, I guess. Crap! Crap, you guys! I whiffed it! I was so close! Oh, buddy, I got a rain check on brunch. I need to get River home and calm her down. Alright. Good luck, bro. Thanks, bro. I head back to the cul-de-sac alone and head inside the house. God, I'm ready for a shower. A gallon of water and a nap. Man, I'm so angry I whiffed that. Oh my god. I should have calmed her down at the park, maybe. I bet Amanda's still asleep. I crack open her door to find her still in bed, sleepily scrolling through her phone. Morning. Afternoon, actually. Amanda, right. How was brunch? Well, we had a good time with the run part, but we didn't make it to the rest of the portmanteau. Amanda, huh? To brunch. We did make it to brunch. Somehow we lost River's toy capybara on our run. A capybara is... Amanda, Dad, don't patronize me about giant rodents. I know. Sorry. Anyway, we figured out that Joseph's creepy twins had something to do with it, but we never got to the bottom of it. Amanda says, so the run went well, though? I was a little worried about your endurance. Rick, yeah, it was rough at first, but it ended up being a piece of cake. I actually feel pretty... My legs gave out. I find myself on the floor of the hallway. Rick, I'm just gonna go hang out here for a while. You take your time getting up. So if I remember correctly, the capybara is actually in a squirrel nest. And you just have to... That's why the leg was in the park, that I think the squirrels took the capybara.
Admire your hustle.
But clearly we didn't make it all the way to the end. Rip. Only a B rank this time, y'all. Not great. Not great. Well, it's been a long day. I'm just about ready to pack it in. After a few bites of ice cream from the freezer, I turn off all the lights and walk down the hall to my room. I wonder if Amanda's still awake. That kid needs some sleep. As I pass her room, I can hear a faint sound, but I can't quite make out what it is. I get a little closer. Is she crying? I knock gently on the door. Hey, Amanda? The crying immediately stops. Amanda, not right now. Her voice sounds strained. She sniffles. I need to make sure she's okay. I open the door. In the dark, I can see Amanda's outline in the middle of her bed, knees hugged up against her body. Rick, is everything okay? Amanda, I don't want to talk about it. Did something happen? Amanda, no, nothing happened. Go away. This is a little dicey because I don't want to push over her boundaries, but I also don't want to not talk to her. So I'm gonna see if she'll tell me what happened. Rick, Amanda. Amanda, get out! Okay. I quickly leave her room and shut the door behind me. Once the door closes, I can hear her crying again. Wow. What has her so upset? She seemed fine earlier. She's usually so open with me. Did I do something wrong? Is she mad at me? I guess if she wasn't before, she definitely is now. I can't even remember the last time she snapped at me like that. I have a hard time falling asleep, but when I finally do, I'm still thinking about Amanda. After a long night of very little sleep, I roll out of bed and make myself a pot of coffee. Amanda should be up for school soon. Maybe she'll be willing to talk about whatever's bothering her?
Huh?
About 10 minutes before she's supposed to leave, Amanda comes out of her room and makes a beeline for the freezer. Morning, Amanda. Morning. She drops a frozen waffle in the toaster and slams the freezer door. She won't look at me. Yikes. So, anything big going on at school today? Amanda, no. Rick's, okay. Do you need a ride to school? Amanda, no. Rick, want some coffee? Amanda pulls the toaster lever up and takes her still freezer-burned waffle out before it's finished cooking. I have to go. Amanda picks up her bag and storms out. Oh, okay. I haven't seen her act like this in a long time. It's usually short-lived, but it always hurts. Hopefully this blows over and things are back to normal soon. I sit at the kitchen table and look at a picture of Amanda hanging on the wall. In it, I'm teaching her to ride a bike. Her face is a mixture of excitement and pure, unadulterated fear. I remember how determined she was. Every time she would fall off and scrape her knees, she would get back up and try it again. Finally, I had to stop her because she was bleeding everywhere. Then she started to cry because she didn't think she needed bandages and just wanted to keep trying. As I put the bike away, she just stood in the middle of the street and screamed. Then I took her for ice cream and it was like nothing even happened. After giving it a bit of thought, I decided that if I forced her to talk about it, I'm only going to make things worse. But I have an idea. I start rummaging around for ingredients. I hear Amanda walk in the door. Instead of heading for the kitchen like she usually does, she makes a beeline for her room. She's clearly trying to avoid me. Hey, Pumpkin? Amanda, what? Rick, can you come here for a second? There's a moment of silence. Amanda, yeah. Rick, I wanted to say sorry about last night. Amanda, Rick, I'm worried about you, kiddo. I get scared when I know something's wrong, and I get even more scared when I feel like I can't do anything about it. Amanda says, Dad, Rick, so just whatever it is, You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but whatever it is, just know that you have a dad in your corner who wants you to be happy. Honey, you know I'm bad with words, so I was hoping I could speak a language we both understand. I pull a cake out of the refrigerator and place it on the table. Hopefully the frosting is set by now. Ta-da! Amanda, Dad. Rick, it took me a really long time because I ran out of red frosting somewhere around sad, and then I had to start over. And Amanda's like, oh, it's beautiful. Rick, it's strawberry. Amanda gives me a big ol' hug. I grab some plates and forks and serve us up some delicious cake. Amanda says, so, it's really stupid. Rick, what is it? Amanda, oh, this whole thing. I know I've been really weird lately, and there's just, I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like I might have to make you a chart? Rick, I'm listening. Do you want me to take notes? Amanda, I guess I should start from the top. So you know how Emma R is going to that fancy art school in California, right? Rick says, Emma R... Oh no, y'all! We have to remember which friend is which. I think Emma P is the arsonist. Or like Emma R, I believe, is her best friend, but I don't want to actually get this wrong, because I'm pretty sure this actually does matter. So, yeah, chat, do you remember whether Emma R is the best friend, or the one who, like, causes trouble? Because I think Emma P is the one who causes trouble, and I think Emma R is the best friend. So we're talking about Emma R here. But this is fully like a dad test. They're fucking testing you. Like, do you remember the shit that went down at the beginning? Although I am really appreciating the dead comma goth and beyond, which feels like it's a combination of Hot Topic and Bed Bath and Beyond. And I'm sure that's where Damien hangs out. Like, let's be real. I think it's the best friend. I'm just gonna go with it. Oh, I got it! Yes! You got it! Wow! I'm so proud of you! Anyway, ever since she got the acceptance letter, I've been feeling like she's drifting away, you know? And she's been spending a lot more time with Grace and Emma P. I just thought it was all in my head for a while, but then I found out that Rosie M, that both of the Emmas, Grace and Noah, all went to a party at Mackenzie F's on the same night that they all told me they were busy studying for a Calculus AB final. Yikes.
Oh.
Amanda, so another important piece of information is, God, this is embarrassing. Ugh. I have a crush on Noah. That's a thing. Rick says, what? Whoa. I had no idea. I definitely didn't know that. Okay. Amanda, you're such a bad liar. Rick, well, so are you. Amanda, I learned from the worst. Anyway, so the only person I told about the crush was Emma R, and she promised not to tell anybody. I didn't confront them about the party thing because I didn't want to start drama, so I just keep quiet and keep going about my business. Amanda sighs. And then one day, I invite everybody out to get nachos at the mall, and after not texting me back for like 2 hours, even though none of them ever put their phones down for more than 60 seconds, they all just say they're busy, like, simultaneously. So I tell them, never mind, I'll just eat nachos at home, right? But we were out of chips, and I really, really wanted nachos. Rick says, yeah, totally understandable.
Ugh.
Amanda says, so I go to the mall anyway. I get to the food court, and who do I see there but Grace, Emma P, Emma R, and Noah all hanging out together and eating nachos without me. Rick says, what? Amanda, it gets better. I'm standing by the escalators watching them, and I realize that Noah has his arm around Emma R, which is like kind of weird, right? But then they kiss. Rick, no. Amanda, yes, I know. So I storm over there and I'm like, hey. And Grace drops a nacho on her shirt because of course she does. And Emma R just like glares at me. Grace, nothing is coming up. I don't know who that is. Grace is the... Ooh. I'm gonna go with gossipy one?
We got this.
Amanda, I know! Amanda, Grace is the one nobody really likes, or, well, alright, I guess that's me now. But anyway, nobody will say anything, and I'm just like, you guys suck, which I realize is not the most eloquent thing to say, but I was also very angry and really embarrassed, and I just wanted to get out of there. So I left, without nachos, I might add, which only further contributed to this shitty day, and immediately drafted a super long text to the group chat, asking them why they've been so weird. And I wrote another one to Emma R, asking how long the Noah thing's been going on, and sorry, I know that's a lot. Are you still following? Yeah, I'm totally following. This makes sense. What did Emma R say? Ooh, okay, get a load of this. Emma R says, you know what? Let me just read it to you. Amanda pulls out her phone and reads, word for word, an arduously long string of text messages. Amanda, can you believe that? I'm going to say, I cannot believe that. I care so much about Amanda's social life and mental well-being, but man, do I not understand what she's talking about. Oh, I thought that Okay, well, I wish I'd chosen the other answer, but that's fine. This is all beyond me, but I am trying my hardest to be supportive. Amanda, they were dating in secret for, like, months. So I told her that she's being really a terrible friend, and she's like, well, if you think I'm so terrible, then just stop being my friend. And I was like, okay, and then she left me on red, and then Rick says, wait, hold on, left me on red? What's that? Amanda says, oh, like, she saw my message and didn't reply, and I know because they're, like, read receipts. I don't know what read receipts are, but I'm just gonna nod and pretend like I understand. Gotcha. Amanda says, so while all this is happening, I'm talking to Emma P about how mad I am because she's at least being kind of reasonable, and I'm venting to her about how pissed I am at everybody and stuff. And then out of nowhere, Noah texts me and is like, how could you say that about me? And I'm like, say what about you? And he tells me that Emma P sent screenshots of everything I told her to the group chat that I got kicked out of. Rick, alright, I think you lost me at screenshots, but that definitely sounds bad. Amanda, there's so much more, but honestly, it's all just really stupid teenager stuff. The bottom line is that everybody dropped me, half of my grade hates me, and now I have no friends. Rick says, oh, Amanda, I'm so sorry. Amanda, I almost expected it from everybody else, but Emma R has been there since Mom died. I can't believe she would just stab me in the back like that. Amanda, I'm not even that mad that she's dating Noah. I'm just upset that she lied to me about it for so long. Amanda stabs at the remnants of her cake. Amanda, alright. I take it back. I'm a kinda mad she's dating Noah. Like, what did I do wrong? Why did everybody just suddenly decide that I'm not cool anymore? Why wasn't I enough? I don't understand. And as mad as I am at everybody, like, I do miss them, Dad. Amanda looks so dejected I almost can't take it. What could I possibly say to help? Anyways, that's it. That's the whole sordid tale. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for more hot gossip. Rick says, wow. Amanda, I know, it's pretty dumb. It's not dumb. Amanda, no, it's like the stupidest thing to be upset over. Amanda, your feelings are real. Don't ever be mad at yourself for having feelings. Amanda, I guess. So unless you've secretly been a robot who's been approximating human feelings the whole time? Dad, if I was a robot, I would have transformed into a monster truck like a super, super long time ago. Rick, alright, seriously. I know you probably don't want advice, but I feel like this is my duty as a dad to bestow upon you a few nuggets of my fatherly wisdom. I'm gonna say real friends don't do that, because that's true. When you get older, you start realizing that the sort of people you want to associate with. Do you really want to surround yourself with people who would do something like that to their friend? It takes a lot of work to find and maintain meaningful friendships. It took me a long time to figure that out myself, and I wish I'd learned it sooner. If the other person isn't putting in the effort to show you how much they care, it's not worth it. You're not beholden to being their friend. Ultimately, I think this says way more about their character than it does about yours. Because you're amazing. And if they can't see that, well, that's their problem. Amanda says, oh, I'll keep that in mind. I look down at the table. Did we just eat that whole cake?
Huh.
Amanda, yes. Yes, we did. We did eat that whole cake. Rick, well, good talk. Amanda gets up to go to her room, but before she closes her door, she turns around. Hey, Pops? Yes? Thank you. You are always welcome.
I love you too,
I love you,
Dad.
Amanda. She says, I love you too, Dad. There was a whole voice line in there. I know we get little kind of like laughs and little clips and stuff, but there's never been a whole voice line like that. That's really cool, actually. I like that a lot.
Welcome. You've got dads.
That was such a lovely and wholesome little moment. Like, that is a game, it is a dating sim about getting some from other hot dads, but at the same time, it is really actually about being a dad to your daughter. It's such a good game. Alright, Craig, what do you need? Hey, buddy, I have a favor to ask. Robert invited me over for dinner? And I know it's kind of a faux pas to invite another bro, but I've known the guy for years and I still can't get a good read on him. And I know it's gonna be super awkward if I go by myself. Will you please come with me? And then he sends like 3 egg emojis, a sweat emoji, and then like a sweating smiley face emoji. Okay, what's up with the eggs? I said, I love food. I especially love food that's free. And I don't know why you're so sweaty over cooking, but sure. Yeah, dude, I'm down. He's like, oh, thank you, like prayer emoji, sweat emoji. I really hope that's the sweat of relief. And the button says, eat that dinner. 89, look at situations positively. That doesn't sound too bad. I could definitely go for some free food. But why is Craig being so apprehensive? Does he know something about Robert that I don't? I hurry up and reply before my dad brain can work itself into a paranoia spiral. Yeah, dude, I'm down. He's like, thank you. Craig and I decide to meet up before heading over to Robert's place. Craig's waiting on my porch, a bottle of white wine in hand. Bro! Okay, I know it's just that there's only one character art for all of the characters, but I am gonna drag him a little bit for wearing his workout gear to dinner with Robert. Because while it is on brand, it does not seem quite polite.
Hey!
Craig, Rick, boy, am I glad to see you. Rick, likewise, man. Classy of you to bring wine. Craig says, oh, it's not wine. It's sparkling apple cider. Robert literally has a wine cellar, so I think he's probably good. Wow. Or at least, I think he has a wine cellar? I'm genuinely unsure if he was telling the truth or not. I can never tell with him. Rick, oh god, thank god, it's not just me. I never know.
Oh.
Craig, he's so deadpan about everything. I usually just laugh it off, but man, that guy's an enigma. We start walking over to Robert's house. Does Robert even know how to cook? I have sincere doubts about whether he even knows how to shave properly. Or iron his shirts. I feel like you learn to cook after you learn those two.
Bro!
Craig says, bro, one time I saw him grab a hot dog from a trash can. I mean, it was at the very top of the trash can, like sitting above it all, but still, if he were on trial, I think the jury would define that as in the trash. Rick, ooh, in his defense, I've definitely considered grabbing food at the top of the trash before. Rick, what? You've thought about eating trash food? Oh my god. What? Okay. Craig, well, yeah, I think we've all considered it. Craig, no, we haven't! But the difference is that Robert actually did it. Rick, okay, true. Maybe he's the enlightened one? Maybe we've been holding ourselves back?
Oh.
Are they really talking about eating trash food? Is this a bunch of raccoons? We arrive at Robert's house and ring the doorbell, but the doorbell won't chime. Must be broken. Craig knocks on the door a few times. Oh, there's a dog. Rick, since when does Robert have a dog? Craig, I don't know. That's weird. I can hear Robert just inside. Robert, 1 second. Craig, this is uncharted territory, Rick. What if he's the one making barking noises and there's no dog? Craig, you dumb sweet idiot. Rick, don't say that. We're not even inside yet. Finally, the door opens. Robert looks a little surprised to see me.
Oh.
Rick, didn't know you'd be tagging along. Did Craig not tell Robert I was coming? Come on, Craig. Rick, I can leave if there's not...
Nice.
Robert says, no, it's fine. Come on in. Okay, that is really rude that Craig just, like, brought someone else. We enter Robert's living room, which is surprisingly really nice. Like, super messy, but still nice. Robert, make yourselves at home. We can still hear barking from the other room. Craig, I didn't know you had a dog, Robert. Robert, oh, yeah, that's Betsy. I have to put her up when guests are over. She'll calm down in a little while.
Nice.
Rick, ooh, what kind of dog is she? Robert says, pit bull. Rescued her from a dog fighting ring a couple years ago. She hates strangers. If I let her out right now, I'd probably have to take you both to the ER. Craig and I make eye contact. He raises an eyebrow at me. Rick's like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Robert, anyway, dinner should be ready in a minute. Hope you guys like osso buco. Robert leaves the room, presumably to go to the kitchen. Craig leans in and whispers, was the dog fighting thing real? Or was he kidding? Rick, I do not know.
Hey.
Also, what's osso buco? I do not know. Craig, did he just make up that word? Rick, until I have osso buco in front of me, we can only assume so. We sit in silence for a second, taking in Robert's living room. Rick, are we about to get sawed? Craig, nah, usually you wake up in those situations. We voluntarily walked into this one. Robert finally walks into the room, carrying 3 paper plates of steaming food like a waiter. Robert says, I don't have a dining table. I don't trust them, so we're eating here.
Oh.
Also, I don't have real people plates. Hope that's okay. Robert sets plates in front of us on the coffee table. I still can't tell what it is. Looks like meat? Maybe? Lots of sauce? I can make out some vegetables. I think that might be rice, but it could be pasta? I guess there's only one way to find out. I take a bite.
Hey.
Oh my god! I take another bite. The medley of flavors in this dish is amazing. The meat is so tender. And the risotto? At least I think that's what it is. It's so creamy. Robert, this is really incredible. You cooked this? Robert says, I fished it out of a dumpster behind a restaurant. Or at least I think it was a restaurant.
Hey.
Can you believe just people just throw stuff like this away? I almost gag.
Oh.
Robert, I'm kidding. I look over at Craig, who looks wary, but still has his mouth full. He gives Robert a thumbs up. Robert says, I'm glad you like it.
Oh.
Craig, where did you learn to cook like this? Robert, I worked at a restaurant in Spain for a hot sec. Is he messing with us? I decide to play along. Rick, you lived in Spain? Robert, after I dropped out of college, I went backpacking through Europe, crushing on couches, sleeping in hostels, whatever, totally broke. Worked a couple of odd jobs wherever I could to scrape together some cash. One night, I'm eating dinner at this little restaurant just outside of Madrid. I go to pay, and I realize I spent the last of my money on booze last night. I'm in the middle of ditching when the manager catches me and puts me to work in the kitchen. Long story short, they ended up liking me so much they offered me a job. Why not, right? Started living with some distant relative on my mom's side. Over the course of 2 years, I worked my way up from busboy to sous chef, and I learned a lot. Craig and I wait for the punchline. What night watchman did he swindle to get back to the States? Who did he con in a game of poker in a back room of a speakeasy for safe passage in the crew quarters of a cargo ship? Rick, Robert, anyway, I still have to cook. I don't know what's real anymore, but this food is so good I kinda don't care. Rick says, that's amazing. Craig, it really is. To be totally honest, I wasn't exactly expecting gourmet cooking here, especially not served on paper plates. Robert, I don't care about presentation. If the food is good, it should speak for itself. This osso buco is screaming for itself. Robert, and paper plates are just as good as regular plates if you double them up. Craig says, Rick, hey, is it bad if I ask for seconds? Robert, help yourself, but save room for dessert. I made lemon berry savarin. Savarin? Rick, ooh. Craig, well, aren't you just full of... Craig looks over at me.
Whoa.
Craig, bro, surprises. Robert winks. Robert, you bet I am. You can come over for dinner anytime. Robert, Craig. Craig says, I'm gonna go get seconds. Rick, me too. After consuming way more of the asabuku than my body can handle, and then really ensuring a later food coma with a generous serving of whatever sovereign was, Craig and I decide to head out.
Oh.
Robert says, "Thanks for coming. I'm making an attempt to be more social." Rick says, "Well, we're always here to stop by if you want company." Craig, "Especially if there's asabuku involved." So Robert is like a good,
Welcome.
sweet chef
You've
boy,
got dads.
it turns out. Okay, we have lots of dads. I'm trying to do a fairly focused run. Like, I think you can spend time with some of the other dads without necessarily injuring your chances, but we are trying to get Craig done today, so I'm gonna hang out with him some more. You know what they say about third dates? They get pretty serious. You might not have time to browse dad book for a while. Are you ready? Alright, let's do some endgame, y'all. Save and continue. Sleep is important. Make sure you're getting enough. Thank you, Dad tip. They were very careful not to make that number 69. Okay, it was number 68. It took some time for our schedules to line up, but I was finally able to find a weekend where Craig and I could go camping. He always stays so busy with work and the kids, but it's good to know that we'll be able to spend some time relaxing together in nature. Since our first run, I've managed to go on regular runs with Craig. I mostly do them because it seems like the only time we get to hang out, but the added benefit is that I've seen a lot of improvement in my health. I was able to sift through the attic and find my old camping gear from college. Craig put me in charge of bringing the sleeping bags and the tent while he takes care of the food, so I double-check to make sure everything is ready to go. Craig should be here any minute. Amanda's gonna be spending the weekend on a school trip to our nation's capital. She hasn't been away from home without me for longer than a day since she was 14. I hope she isn't feeling as nervous about it as I am. Hey, Amanda Panda! Amanda's in the middle of sitting on top of her luggage in order to get it to finally zip. Hey, Pops! Rick says, "You ready for your trip?" She says, "Once I get this bad boy all zipped up, I'm good to go." Rick, "How much did you pack? That feels like a lot for 2 days." She says, "Oh, it's all of my camera equipment. Lenses, tripod, flash, all that." Rick says, "Are you even gonna have time to take pictures?" Amanda's, I'll find a way. I need to get some good shots for my series on national monuments." Rick says, "Ooh, what's the series about?" And she's like, "Oh, it's one of those internet series where I reimagine Disney princesses as founding fathers." Rick says, "What?" She's like, "I'm kidding. Nobody likes those. I'm taking portraits of my friends." Rick says, "Oh, well, I'm gonna be in the woods, out there in nature. You know, roughing it. Just me and Mother Nature. The old Madre de trees." Rick, "Are you gonna be alright on your own?" Amanda, "Of course, Rick, "I'm not gonna have any signal out there. I won't be able to text or call you at all."
Oh.
Amanda says, "Oh, it's alright. I'll be able to survive a couple days without constant updates on who just got voted off of International Haunted House Hunters." Okay, chat, I would watch that show. International Haunted House Hunters? Are you kidding me? Like, yeah. ... Well, I'll miss you. And for the record, Bradley was pushed down a flight of ornate stairs by a ghost. They were really beautiful stairs. Amanda finishes zipping up the big suitcase and lugs it next to the door of her bedroom. She turns around and gives me a big hug. "Relax, Dadtron. I'm a big kid now. I can take care of myself. Besides, I gotta share a room with Monica Sanders and 2 mom chaperones. The most trouble I could possibly get into is falling asleep with a tub of ice cream on me." Rick says, "Oh, well, alright. Don't steal anything, okay?" She says, "Okay, well, since you asked nicely, fine. Promise." I step outside, hauling my bags behind me. Craig's already strapped in some camping gear to the top of my modest but stylish car. He notices me carrying equipment and hurries over to take it from me. Ooh, alright, I can say such a gentleman. I can say don't you dare, or I got it. I'm absolutely gonna flirt with him. Rick, I almost had a case of the vapors there. Oh, I got the eggplants! Oh yes, these are might be our first eggplants today, you guys. Eggplants are the goal in this game. Other than, obviously, being a good dad. Craig, never fear. These muscles were made for picking up heavy things and putting them in other places. Rick says, "Remember, it's your weekend to relax. Take it easy."
Oh.
Craig says, "Well, I guess I can't argue with that."
Oh.
"Everything good with Amanda?" Rick says, "Yep, on her way to a school trip in Washington, D.C. "What about your offspring?"
Oh.
Craig, already at Smashley's for the weekend. I'm ready to get my camp on. I load the rest of my stuff into Craig's car, and we get in. Oh no! What's wrong? I think I left my juicer plugged in. We gotta go back. Rick, are you worried someone's gonna break into your house and, like, cold press some carrots? Craig says, no, it's just, Rick, hey, just try to relax, man. Let the juicer float away and take all of your worries and blend them into pulpy good vibes. Craig takes a deep breath. Rick, do we have anything to listen to? Craig, all I had at my place is a series of CDs that guide you through a thorough and intense calisthenics workout. Do you want to listen to those? Rick says, Craig, I'm just kidding. Craig hands me a thick case filled with CDs. Take your pick. I thumb through page after page of kids' sing-along CDs. Oh yeah, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Takes me back. Craig, keep going. I get to the end of the case to find, in the very last slot, a blank CD with Craig's handwriting on it. It says DJ Kegstand's Mega Mix Volume 1. Craig says, I made it just for the trip. I think you'll like it. He made us a mixtape, y'all? Mix CD, whatever, it's a mixtape, but like, ooh. I pop the CD into the car's stereo, and it's like I'm immediately transported to our old dorm room. Hit after hit plays, and soon enough, we're both happily scream-singing the lyrics to each song as we fly down the hallway. Rick, this song was Carl's favorite! Craig, Carl, the third roommate! You brought that dog home one night, and I couldn't pry you two apart. Craig says, we spent an entire semester fabricating a story about our foreign exchange student's roommate who had a really bad cough that sounded exactly like a dog's bark. Rick says, and then we had a room inspection. Craig, that RA was so suspicious of us, but could never prove anything. And Carl was just under a blanket. Craig, bless that pup's courage under fire. Rick, man, we did some dumb things back in college. The hours fly by as we belt out tunes in whatever non-existent key our voices register in. Soon enough, we're surrounded by lush trees and spectacular vistas of everything amazing that nature has to offer. It feels good to be back out here. Rick says, yeah, real good. We park our car at the entrance to a familiar trail and load up our gear on our backs. I'm thankful that I've been working on my health over the past couple of weeks, otherwise I'd be dreading the hike that's about to happen. Craig looks very intently at his phone. Rick, hey, everything alright?
No.
Craig, yep, just had to fire off one last work email. Craig pockets the phone and we start off the trail. It's relatively easy, but I know I would have been huffing and puffing at this point if it weren't for all the murder sprints. I look around me and take in the tall trees and animal chirps. Rick says, everything okay back there?
Oh.
Craig, there's no reception out here. Rick, yeah, being in the middle of nowhere will do that to you. I recognize the look of anxiety on Craig's face. Craig, but what if there's a problem? He seems really genuinely worried, so I'm not gonna make fun of him. I'm just gonna be genuine. It'll be fine. Come on, bud. Who's a relaxed boy? Craig, I don't know. Craig.
Oh.
I'm a relaxed boy. Oh, I got hearts. Yes. Craig. Rick, that's my dude. We keep marching down the trail, but it seems like Craig is still worried. After a bit, he stops in his tracks. He says, maybe we should go back. We could find another campground that gets good cell phone reception? Craig, seriously, what's wrong? Craig says, I mean, I'm just really nervous. My dad instinct is kicking in. My mind keeps conjuring up all sorts of worst case scenarios. What if something happens to the girls? I don't have a signal. I wouldn't have any way of knowing. Rick says, let me tell you, the feeling never goes away no matter how old your kids are. You just gotta remind yourself that they're in good hands. Craig doesn't say anything. I give him a reassuring punch to the shoulder. Rick says, try to remember why we're out here. The plan was to get away from it all and just focus on ourselves for this little trip. No distractions, no cell phone service, just two dads relaxing out in the woods. And yes, chat, this is the beginning of a fanfiction. Craig looks me directly in the eyes. Craig, no distractions, no cell phone service, just two dads relaxing in the woods. Rick says, we're gonna have some fun this weekend. Oh really, Rick? Oh really? Craig and I get back to marching. It's not too long of a hike before we get to the campsite, and we're both glad to see that we're the only people there. Craig says, I cannot believe you still have this tent. Rick says, I don't know, I found it in my attic, and I already checked it for holes. It's seen better days, sure, but I think we'll be able to survive. I dump the bag of fabric and poles on the ground. We unfold the tent in the desired spot, and I hand Craig the stakes. Craig says, we still know how to do this, right? Rick, of course we do. We absolutely do not. After 20 minutes of struggling like people in a bad infomercial, we somehow managed to build an upright structure that closely resembles what a tent should look like if you ask somebody to draw a picture of one with their eyes shut. Rick says, I wouldn't put this up against a storm, but I think we'll be able to survive for the night. We set out a couple of chairs and our cooking equipment, admiring our handiwork. Craig says, bro, look at us go! Rick says, look upon the kingdom that we have built. Upon this rock we shall grill our meats and drink our brews, for we hold dominion over this land. Craig, verily, and look at our camping chairs, which we are going to sit on. He's such a himbo. Craig is such a himbo. I love him so much. He's so stupid and so hot and lovely and sweet. He's a good, sweet dad boy. Rick, so what's next on the Camp Stravaganza docket? Craig says, well, now that we have shelter settled, I think it's time for us to do some exploring. There's a waterfall a little bit up the way that I'm sure we could hike to. Rick says, let's get hiking. Craig and I venture into the woods. We amble along, taking our time to chat and admire the wildlife. Craig reaches out an arm and stops me. Dude, does that look like what I think it looks like? I look over at where he's pointing. Oh my god, it does. Rick, that tree, it looks like a butt. Craig, I can't get over how detailed it is. I examine the butt tree further. The contour is perfect. It even has back dimples. Rick, I thought we were gonna have a great time camping, but this makes it even better. Craig holds back a snicker. I aspire to have every hike be as good as this one. I'm snickering now too. Let us analyze this tree further. Craig and I share a huge belly laugh at our awful jokes. The best thing about this is that there's no daughters here to tell us that our jokes are bad. We high-five. Craig and I hit the trail again. It's been a long time since we've been out here, but everything seems more or less familiar. We point out old landmarks that we remember back from our college days. I think we're getting close now. Craig, check it out. There's a clearing up ahead. As we get closer, I can hear water running. Ooh! Cresting over a hill, Craig and I are greeted by a wide clearing surrounded by trees. In front of us is a beautiful waterfall spilling into a large body of water that runs into a river. Mouths agape with the genuine beauty of the place, we go to investigate. Rick, the old waterfall. Craig, it's gorgeous. Nature is so rad. Peering further, we get an idea of how deep the pool is. Craig says, think we could jump off it like in the old days? Rick says, this old dad is happy here on dry land. Craig says, I don't know, looks like you could climb right up over there. Rick says, we didn't even bring swim trunks. Craig is like, I don't know, what are you talking about? Craig immediately begins taking his clothes off. Oh, chat, we're making progress today. Just a lot of dots. Yeah, I mean, I obviously I'm gonna look at Craig's butt. Like, why would I not? I can't help but sneak a peek. That is a good butt. Craig turns around suddenly. He catches me looking. I do a lot of glute workouts. Oh, we got the eggplants, y'all. I immediately turn away, blushing. Craig says, you coming? Or what? Rick, I don't know about this dude. He's already making his way over to the waterfall by the time I finish my sentence. When he realizes I'm not right behind him, he turns around and rolls his eyes. Craig's like, we lived together for years. I've seen your ass more times than I can count. It's not a big deal. Rick is like, alright, our choices are, you got it, comma, chief, let's put on a show, and who needs pants anyway? I'm gonna go with who needs pants anyway. They're society's oppressors. Down with pants, down with the system. That's the spirit. I take my shirt off and drop it in a pile with Craig's clothes. I put the rest of my clothes on the ground, feeling kind of exposed. Craig and I climb to the top of the waterfall, making sure not to slip on any wet rocks. He reaches the peak before I do and offers me a hand getting up. At the top, we look over the cliff and into the tiny lake. It seems so much higher from this perspective. Craig has always been the daredevil. He pulled some stunts in college that I'm honestly shocked we survived. I was always the one standing on the sidelines, watching and hoping that I wouldn't be bringing him home in a gurney. Rick, man, this could be dangerous. Craig looks me in the eyes.
Nice.
Don't think, just jump. Craig cannonballs off the waterfall and into the lake, creating a huge splash. I'm worried for a moment before he finally resurfaces from under the water. Craig, whoa! He treads water and looks up at me. You coming or what? Don't think, just jump. How are you supposed to not think? I'm pretty sure that's not physically possible. My toes grip the edge of the rock. The water looks so far away. Don't think, just... I run off the ledge, trying to do my best cannonball. Somewhere in the middle, it turns into a very graceful belly flop. I hit the water with a loud slap. I resurface to find Craig giggling. He says, I rate that belly flop a solid 8 out of 10. Your form was lacking, but your heart was in the right place. I playfully splash water at Craig.
Nice.
Craig says, are you sure about that? ... I splash him again.
Oh.
Craig, oh, you've given me no choice. Craig splashes me in the face with a huge wave of water. Craig, you've awakened the beasts. He launches another wave of water at me. Rick says, don't you put me in a corner here. Don't put a wild animal in the corner. Yeah, okay, we gotta... I'm gonna dunk him. I lunge for Craig and manage to get him in an arm lock. Time for the finishing move! I summon all of my dad's strength to lift Craig out of the water. Hey! And I drop him down for the splash. Craig bounces back out of the water. Craig says, my turn. Oh no, it seems like Craig was simply allowing me to pick him up. He grapples me with his clearly superior muscles, and quite literally tosses me across the water. I emerge from the water, devastated. Craig, you think all those pull-ups I did were just so I could look good with my shirt off? Nah, bro. These arm cannons are dad launchers. Oh, we got more eggplants, y'all. We're doing great. We're doing great. We're getting all the eggplants. Craig does a playful flex for me. Damn. Craig, truce, please. Craig thinks about it. Yeah, sure. We shake hands. There is peace. Rick, man, that jump was such an adrenaline rush. Craig's like, yeah, not so scary now, huh? Okay, we can do race you to the top, or I've had enough excitement. I'm trying to remember. I feel like there is a major decision buried in here that you can do wrong. But yeah, let's fucking keep goofing. Let's keep goofing. We run all the way up the slick rocks and cannonball off the waterfall. Again, what a rush! Good form on that one. Wanna go again? Sure. With the same energy we had in our youth, we climb back up to the top of the waterfall. I'm brave enough to try a flip, which I'm sure looks incredibly graceful as I belly flop into the water. Phew, man, this is fun. You got one more in you? Let's go, Craig. It takes us a little more time, but we get to the waterfall and both do our best running jumps into the water below. Alright, I think that's my limit. We should get going before it gets too dark. Okay, I'm gonna agree with him. I don't want to push him. We should probably head back. We should go put our clothes on and notice that they're soaking wet. Maybe a splash fight wasn't the best idea? Ah, it's okay. We'll get a fire going in no time. We can dry off and then get some dinner going. Sopping wet, we hike back to the camp and unpack everything we need for dinner. Craig pulls out a couple of steaks and some chopped potatoes in tinfoil. He says, hey, you ready for a feast? And I'm like, hey man, take a seat. The Craig train is pulling into Relaxation Station, and I'm your conductor. Let me cook for you. Craig says, absolutely not. Cooking is the thing that relaxes me the most. I'll take it from here. Craig cooks now? I remember how his entire sophomore year diet consisted of microwavable mac and cheese, but not microwaved, and I have trouble believing the thing he just said. Rick says, alright, well, at least let me start the fire. He's like, alright, sure, let me grab my matches. Craig reaches into his backpack. He rummages around in his bag, pulling things out and checking every pocket.
I
Uh-oh.
don't know.
Craig says, oh, I know I packed it. Craig checks another bag. Still can't find it. My stomach grumbles, and now I'm more acutely aware of how cold and wet I am. We really need to get a fire started. Rick says, okay, well, it's not the end of the world.
Oh.
Craig says, gosh, I'm so stupid. I could have sworn I packed it. I'm sorry, dude. Rick says, don't be. We can figure this out. We can start a fire. We're smart guys. I mean, how hard could it be? I've watched plenty of survival programs on TV. If a naked reality TV star can do it, then so can we. We just need some wood. I gesture to the trees around
I
us.
don't know.
Well, there's no shortage of that, Craig says. Rick, and some tinder.
Oh.
Craig, that we can make work. And then I think some ancient aliens are then supposed to like come by and give us advanced technology or renovate our house. It depends on the show. Craig and I gather a variety of wood, bark, and moss until we have all of the materials that could conceptually make a passable looking
Oh.
campfire. Craig says, just add fire, right? Rick, that's the fun part. The sun is just now setting and a cool breeze rustles the leaves of the trees around us. We need to work quick.
Nice.
Craig says, okay, I've done this in the past and I know I can figure it out. Just give me a second. Rick's like, any way I can help?
Hmm.
Craig, well, give me some moral support, lift my spirits, and we'll totally make this fire happen. Should I go overboard with compliments? Never knew a better Craig, or you can do it. I'm gonna go with never knew a better Craig. In all my days, I can confidently say I have never known a better Craig to be a better friend, father, or fire maker.
Oh.
Aww. Actually, now that I think about it, I knew a guy named Craig in high school who ended up getting a job as a professional pyrotechnics operator. And I suppose he must have been pretty good at starting fires, but I bet you're even better than that guy.
Hmm.
Oh, crap! He did not like that! Okay, Rick, you put your foot in your mouth. That was not it. Rick, I swear to God. Craig says, bro. Eventually, Craig is miraculously able to get something going. He blows on the embers and gently places the glowing moss into the base of the pit. Soon enough, we have a nice little fire going. Way to go, man! We're regular outdoor fellas!
Oh.
Craig says, hooray for not dying! I take a seat in one of the lawn chairs Craig brought and cozy up to the fire, warming up my hands.
Hmm.
He says, relax, man. Take it easy. Let me handle the dinner. I watch as Craig stokes the fire, and gets a makeshift grill for the steaks. After all that hiking and swimming and fire starting, I'm able to relax a bit. With the sound of crickets and the scent of steak filling the air, I actually feel pretty calm. Craig expertly sears 2 steaks in a pan that he's heating up on the fire, cracking thyme and crushed ginger over it, while basting them both in butter. Wow, I didn't know he was actually good at cooking. The fanciest I ever saw him get in college was when he started sprinkling the seasoning packet onto dry ramen and eating it straight up. Rick says, hey, when did this happen? You used to eat cereal every morning with beer instead of milk.
Oh.
Craig says, I grew up, I guess. I think these are just about ready. Craig puts the steaks onto paper plates and sets them aside. I start to reach for one, but Craig smacks my hand away. Dude, you gotta let them rest. It'll be more flavorful that way. I patiently return to my seat, eyeing the steaks longingly from a distance. They smell incredible. Craig prepares a side salad for us in the meantime, sprinkling feta cheese onto freshly chopped greens. He plates it next to a generous pile of roasted potatoes covered in olive oil and rosemary. Once it's all ready, we sit down by the fire and dig in.
Hmm.
Craig says, everything taste okay? Rick, I'm in heaven.
Oh.
Craig, oh yeah, that's what I like to hear. Hey, remember how for an entire semester we would eat burritos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Huh?
Craig, oh man, it's so hard not to go back to that. Rick says, look at you now, man. You have kids, a great job, and now you cook like a vengeful wizard whose arch nemesis is microwavable food. I'm really impressed with how much you've gotten your life together. Craig laughs, but there's no humor in it.
Hmm.
Craig, well, I'm glad you think that. I glance at Craig while he picks at his salad. He really grew out of his baby face, but there's something about his expression that makes him seem so much older than he is. A sense of maturity he didn't have in college. He looks exhausted. Rick says, hey, you okay?
Oh.
Craig, yeah. Come on, dude. I've known you for long enough to see when you're
Oh,
down.
man.
Craig's like, I'm just tired, bro. I think being out here is making me realize just how drained I am. Rick, you work really hard, Craig. It can't be easy.
Oh.
Craig says, I have to, for my girls. I volunteer at their school, I cook healthy meals for them, I do everything I can to make sure they're safe and happy. And when they're with their mom, I'm always working overtime so that I can support them. And Rick says, and then you work out a lot so that you can crush anyone who stands in their way?
Oh.
Craig, that, and I don't want to fall into my old habits. I need to set a good example for my girls. Everything I do is for them, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Rick, but it seems like it's bleeding you dry.
Oh.
Craig, well, if that's what it takes to raise them well, then it's worth it. And Rick's like, oh. Craig, buddy, I know where you're coming from here, but you gotta take care of yourself too.
Dude.
He's like, I do though. I eat right and I exercise. Rick, that's not what I mean. You're too little butter on too much toast, you know?
Nice.
He's like, what? Rick, you're spreading yourself too thin. Life needs balance. It's great that you care this much about your kids, but you can't neglect your own needs just because you're too busy taking care of everyone else's. You matter too.
Huh.
It's just, I know I can provide for my family, and if I take a step back and look at everything objectively, I know I'm doing right by them.
I don't know.
But I can't explain it, man. There's just always that voice in the back of my head telling me that I need to do more. Like it's never enough for me. Every time I try to relax, that voice keeps telling me I don't deserve it. To be honest, I even feel guilty being out here. Rick says, Craig, you're trying your best, and you're doing an amazing job. That's a fact. But even if you weren't, you would still deserve happiness.
Oh.
Craig says, do I though? Rick, hell yeah, bro! Oh, I don't know, do I call him bro? I feel like this is such a serious moment. I don't want to just like goof.
Mhm.
I look at Craig, and I think about what a good friend and even better father he is. He's compassionate, he's hardworking, he's relentlessly positive. He encourages everyone to be the best version of themselves. He makes me want to be a better person. Rick, if only you could see yourself the way that I see you. Craig beams. He gets up and walks over to his supplies.
Oh.
He says, come on, I brought dessert. Rick says, oh, are you going to use the campfire to torch the tops of some creme brulee?
Oh.
He's like, what? Rick, I know next to nothing about cooking. Craig pulls out marshmallows.
Hey.
Well, you still know how to make s'mores, right? Rick, I think the more important question is, do you know how to make s'mores? As I recall, you used to just completely blacken the marshmallows.
Oh.
Craig says, oh, no, I stand by that. It's charred on the outside, but gooey in the center. Well preserved. Rick says, ooh, brutish. Craig throws a marshmallow at me, and I catch it in my mouth.
Mhm.
Pro move. Rick, we used to be able to do that at great distance against a wind disadvantage. Give me a week of practice, and I'll be competitive again. Craig and I sit in the warm glow of the campfire, watching embers float up towards the sky. Rick says, the stars are so much brighter out here. Craig, yeah.
Hmm.
I missed this, Rick. Rick says, yeah, me too. We stay here until it gets late, half remembering stories from college. We watch as the fire dies and eventually clamber into the tent. Am I gonna fail this date? I might. I don't mean fail, I mean like he'll be like a friend, but maybe I won't actually get Craig. That would be very sad. Oh no, now I'm stressed. We crawl into the tent and I unfurl my sleeping bag. Wait, where's the other sleeping bag? I look around for a second. Oh. Oh no, I must have left it at home. It's all yours, dude. I'm sorry. I'll just curl up over here.
Oh.
Craig says, no way. Here. Craig unzips the sleeping bag and spreads it out so there's enough room for both of us to lay on top of it.
Hmm.
Craig says, night, bro. Good night, bro. I roll over and we face away from each other, without a blanket. It's really cold. I shiver, and without realizing it, I find myself nestling closer to Craig. I'm sure he won't mind. He turns over, and I can feel his breath on my neck. It's hard to focus on anything else. I turn over, trying to get more comfortable. I open my eyes to find Craig's face only a few inches from my own. For once, he looks at peace. His eyes flutter open. His hand finds a place on my waist. I'm not sure who leans in first, but suddenly, we're kissing. We look at each other again, my heart racing. Craig,
Oh, man.
he says, I got strong feelings for you, bro. Feelings I can't deny anymore. Rick, bro, me too. I run my hands through his hair and then down his chest. Craig brings me closer, wrapping his arms around me. I feel so secure.
Oh.
You know, talking about old times is fun, but
Oh.
I like making new memories with you. I smile, tracing the line of his hips with my finger. How horny does this game get? How horny am I gonna have to read for you guys? I actually don't remember. We kiss again. I'm not worried about us getting too old tonight. If it gets too horny, I'll let you guys read the screen. But, like, also whatever. It's like, come on, most of us, let's be honest, almost everybody in here has been on AO3. Like, y'all are watching me play Dream Daddy. S rank! Hell yeah! We got that boy! We did it, y'all. We fucking did it. Hell yeah, bro. I got feelings for you, bro. Whew. I think I have everything finally set up. Amanda should be here any minute. I think that's her car in the driveway. Okay, I gotta act natural. Be cool, Rick. Be cool. Amanda walks through the door with a suspicious look on her face. Hey, Dad. Oh, we're off to a great start. She says, something fishy? Rats. Am I gonna be sarcastic? Deny it. Or you ask too many questions. I'm gonna be a dad. That life of crime is finally catching up to you. I tried to send him in a different direction, but even though I'm no match for the power and funding of the US government. Ugh. She's like, well, if they think they're gonna take me alive, they got another thing coming. Rick says, I'm kidding, you're right. I have a little surprise for you. Amanda says, yeah, I can tell. You're super bad at lying. Rick, Amanda, my dear, would you care to join me in the kitchen? Amanda, Father, it would fill my heart with glee. I lead Amanda over to the kitchen table where a present lies covered under a tablecloth. Rick says, it's nothing special, but I wanted to get you a little something. You graduated high school last week, and I know you told me not to make a big deal about it, but... She's like, oh, Dad, you... I dramatically whip the cloth off the table. Amanda's jaw drops. She says, no way! Rick says, I figure you probably won't be able to get cable in the dorm, so I thought it might be nice to take a piece of home with you. A DVD box set of Long Haul Paranormal Ice Road Ghost Truckers. It is all 19 seasons! And bonus material, including commentary with actual ghosts featured on the show. She's like, Dad, I love this! Thank you! She gives me a big hug. Rick says, I'm glad you like it. Hey, you want to hang out with me in the backyard for a bit? Toss the old pigskin or something? She's like, totally. I follow Amanda to the back door. The dads! Oh, they're all here. Oh, this is so fucking wholesome. She's like, what? Rick says, you told me not to make a big deal, but you seem to have forgotten that my entire mission in life is to make a big deal out of your accomplishments. So consider this your graduation party. Rick says, surprise! Dad, everyone's here. Well, yeah, everyone wanted to come and support you. Amanda says, is that a mac and cheese bar? Rick says, sure is. Customizable, right down to the type of mac. And there's an ice cream cake, the good kind, with the crunchies in the middle. Yeah. Amanda says, I don't know what to say. Rick, don't say anything. Just have fun with your pals, alright? I'm so proud of you, Amanda. Amanda smiles and runs to her friends. I should make the rounds and make sure everyone's having a good time. But first, mac and cheese. Rick! So Brian, you made it! Brian says, haha, I don't pass on good mac. And I'm like, what do you think of the party? He says, it's not bad. Rick's like, just not bad? Brian, yeah, it's not bad. Don't let him bait you. Don't let him bait you. Rick says, thank you for the lovely compliment. Daisy trots up. Hi, Amanda's dad. Hey, Brian's daughter. See how that feels? Daisy says, this is a really great party. Thanks so much for inviting us. Rick says, you're very welcome. Tiny child who actually knows how to pay a compliment. Brian and I lock eyes. This isn't over. Joseph, well, looks like you've settled into the neighborhood quite nicely. Rick, yep. Couldn't ask for a better cul-de-sac. Joseph, well, I'm glad. Hopefully we'll see you more at church events. We got a big schedule planned for the rest of the year. Joseph, I would rather be caught dead. Rick says, sure thing, Joseph. And Joseph says, maybe if you aren't doing anything later, we could hang out sometime. Sure, Joseph. That would be great. Well, see you later. Hugo comes up to me with a plate of mac and cheese. He says, the perfect cheddar to mac ratio. Beautiful work, Rick. And Rick's like, thanks, Hugo. Hugo, you know, I'm really pleased to see Amanda going to her dream school. I'm glad she turned it around for the finals. Rick says, yeah, me too. That scholarship money is really gonna help. Amanda walks by and pretends not to see Hugo. Amanda, come say hi to your old teacher. Amanda's like, hey. Hugo, congratulations on graduating. I know you're gonna do great things at art school. She says, haha, yeah, thanks. Amanda starts to back away. Wait, I just realized that you're not my teacher anymore, so I don't have to be afraid of talking to you. You no longer hold power over me.
Oh.
Hugo says, yep, you're right. Go forth, adult. I can no longer give you detention. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna break anything I want, and there is nothing you can do about it. Hugo's like, uh-huh. Are you still mad about that time I gave you detention for breaking my globe? She's like, nope.
Oh.
And I'll have you know that the globe didn't even fit through the basketball hoop in the first place. So Hugo's like, alright, she'll fit into college just fine. Robert, hey. Rick, hey. Robert, Rick. Robert gestures vaguely to the snack table. Good stuff. Rick's like, yep. Robert, ... Rick's like, cool, see you later.
Hey.
Matt, hey man. Matt! Let me know when Amanda leaves for college. I'll have a fresh batch of banana bread Kennedys ready for her. Rick, wow, thank you. I know she'll love that. Damien, what a splendid garden party. My deepest thanks for extending an invitation to my son and I. This icebox cake is divine. Yeah, thanks, dude. Good cake. Rick, thanks for coming by. Hey, looks like Amanda's hanging out with Briar and Hazel. Let's see what they're up to. Okay, Briar, think of a shape. Hazel. What's she thinking? Hazel, square? Briar? Star.
Yeah.
Amanda. Well, we'll get it next time. Amanda leans in close to Briar and Hazel, lowering her voice. Listen, you guys can be real with me. If you're downplaying your psychic abilities, I want you to know that you can trust me. Heck, even think of me as a third twin. Rick says, Amanda, that's a triplet. She's like, you know, Dad, by the time I'm done with these kids, they're gonna be finishing each other's Hazel. Briar. What? You didn't finish your sentence! What are we gonna be finishing? Each other's Amanda sentences. See? Third twin. Rick says, I have to go. As the party starts to wind down, I take a seat next to Craig. The sun is setting, and everyone seems to have eaten their fill.
Oh.
Bro. This reminds me of the parties we used to throw. Fewer keg stands, of course. Rick's like, well, that's probably for the best. I don't want to get my hip replaced after a party trick goes wrong.
Oh.
Craig's like, yeah, we can leave keg stands in the past. Craig sighs. You doing okay? Yeah, dude. I'm alright. I can't hang for too long. I gotta get back home and answer some emails. Rick says, hey, what happened to relaxing? Craig says, I am relaxing. Right now. Rick says, we're sitting on a bench? Craig, yeah, well, I should be standing. See? Relaxing. Rick says, Craig, you gotta take better care of yourself. I care about you, and I want you to be okay. Craig's like, I appreciate it. I'm fine. You're a good friend, dude. Craig, don't call me your friend! Rude! Rick says, do you ever wish that maybe we were more than that? Craig says, oh, bro.
I don't know.
I'm sorry if I gave off that impression. To be honest, I kind of wondered the same thing, but I don't have time for that right now. I think we're gonna be just better off as friends. Rick says, oh, yeah, I can do friends. Craig hots up. Alright, buddy, I gotta get moving. Thanks for inviting me. Let's hang soon, yeah? Oh, it's so crushing! It's like, I get it. Like, you gotta respect the fact that he has so much shit going on, but it's also like, Craig, let's soon, yeah? Let's hang soon, yeah? Rick, that'd be nice. Craig jogs out of the yard. Man, the last guests begin to make their way out of the party. Amanda wanders over and sits down next to me. She says, killer party, Pops. Rick, what can I say? I was inspired. Amanda, so I also have something for you. Rick says, for me? Why? She's like, not to be completely genuine about my feelings for once or anything, but growing up wasn't easy, but it could have been a lot harder if it wasn't for you. Dad, you've been there with me through everything. There's been times in my life where you were my only friend. I was really scared of going to college and being so far away from you, but I realized that everything you've done for me has been to prepare me for this. And I'm ready. I wouldn't be who I am today without you. Don't cry, don't cry. I swear to God, Rick, if you cry again. Amanda says, you're the best, Dad. I love you. And I'm crying. Anyway, that was enough emotional vulnerability for one day. Present time! Amanda hands me a tiny wrapped package. I tear the wrapping off to find a framed picture of me and Amanda. It's us. Kinda shocking. All of our photo albums are just pictures of me, huh? I figured we needed at least one together before I leave. Amanda, thank you. Watching you grow up has been the happiest experience of my life. You're such a talented, intelligent young woman, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you. Knock 'em dead, kid. She says, I always do. Amanda and I share a hug. This is only the beginning, Pops. Plenty more memories for us down the road. Memories to make and stuff to break, right? She says, oh, I'm gonna break so much stuff. Intentionally and probably unintentionally. You're gonna have to pay for most of it. Rick says, it would be my honor. Hell, you know, I started some fires in my day. Amanda and I wave bye to the partygoers as they leave. We sit together and watch the sun slowly dip below the horizon. I'm glad you made some friends. Rick says, yeah. Amanda says, I know that maybe that's not what you were looking for, but these people care about you. I love you, Dad. We'll always have each other. Rick says, yeah, you're right. It's gonna be hard at first, but this is the next chapter in our story, and I would be nervous about it. But I know that you're always gonna be looking out for me the same way that I'm always looking out for you.
We got this.
Amanda says, yeah, Team Dad. Team Dad. And here's the credit roll. I believe, and you guys can correct me on this, Craig's story always ends like that. Like, I don't think that there is a way to, like, do it where you stay together. Like, I think he always ultimately ends up choosing his family. Which is, like, super wonderful and wholesome. He is such a good himbo boy. Bro. And, like, ultimately the game is kind of about being a dad, like, to your daughter. Which I feel like we did a great job of maintaining a relationship with her and talking with her and that kind of stuff. Because that can go wrong. You can fuck up your relationship with your daughter, like, immediately. And, yeah, Vicious Frockery is right. If you basically, at the very end of the, like, jumping off the waterfall thing, if you try to get him to go one more time, you can jump off the cliff and die. Like, you literally can die in that scene. And then the game is just, like, over. It's actually pretty crazy. I don't actually have any idea if all of the scenes, or all of the routes, I should say, have death endings. I don't know if they do. I think it might only be 2 or 3 of them, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay, Vicious Frockery. Maybe there is a version where you date. Maybe it's because I whiffed that second date, and I didn't end up finding the toy or whatever. I don't know. I do know that the super bad ending that they actually did add back in with Joseph is like he has you like tied up in a basement or something. It's like total cult ending. And then Hamlian was telling me today that if you like once that ending is over, if you like get out and all that stuff, you like wake up in the hospital and the cop who's like taking your statement is a hot dad, and then there's this like implication that he's like, oh, maybe we should like hang out later. Which like, okay, that's dark, but you know, hey, whatever, there's another hot dad. Everybody in this universe is either a hot dad or a hot dad's kid. Oh no! Well, maybe I will go back to one of my old saves. Not on the stream, but I will check it out. Although, granted, there's gameplay everywhere on the internet. So this was super fun. I could play other routes if there's interest in that. Oh my god, look at this cute photo of us! Oh, that's so cute. Oh my god. That's fucking wholesome. I still have the heart eyes. Laserdisc is superior. Alright. And here are our hot dads. Okay. So, I'll figure out if it makes sense for me to play any more Dream Daddy, or if this is just gonna be just a Valentine's Day weekend playthrough. I know that you guys already know a fair amount about this game anyway. So it's not like I'm gonna spoil anything talking about other endings and stuff. We barely touched on, like, Damien. We barely talked to Brian. There's a really significant amount of content in this game. But it's super fun, and there's a super fun, catchy song. So I'm gonna end this stream for today. Thank you all for coming. As always, likes, subs, like interacting with the tweets and like all that kind of stuff is super helpful for me. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Go use and abuse all of your emotes, those of you who have them, and eventually I'll get some more emote slots, and we'll see how that goes. So have a fantastic Valentine's Day. I hope you all have, like, maybe a friend or someone who matters to you that you can at least have some kind of nice Valentine's Day moment with. Or maybe your Valentine's Day is just all of us being here together. Because I know that my Valentine's Day is all of you guys. So, hell yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a good night, everyone. Well, I guess it's afternoon. Have a good afternoon.